We can't be the only ones obsessed with Shadow and Bone and the Grishaverse. Between the magic, romance, and the most adorable cast, we just can't get enough. Which is why we're crossing the fold and heading behind the scenes of this Netflix series to uncover how the show really looks without CGI magic. How did they manage to bring things like the fight sequences, Sun Summoner's powers, and realistic sets to life? Let's find out.
Doing weight sessions together, we're going to fight each other in the end, so it's kind of built that up nicely.
Alina almost getting kidnapped in the forest early on in Season 1 is one of the very first battle scenes we got to see come to life. It was so epic that we bet you couldn't have guessed that it was filmed with barely any physical weapons. While some of the actors were, of course, holding prop weapons, the ones we see flying through the air like this axe weren't there during the filming. Actors were given the marks they were supposed to hit and told where the weapons were generally going to land. The rest was all added in during the editing with visual effects.
I've survived long enough without my protection. Thank you.
How could something that looks so real be so fake? That's how we're feeling after finding out that the Grisha magic in Shadow and Bone was all done using visual effects. The actors were given choreography, just like a fight sequence, on how to move their hands and bodies in a way that would let them add in magic afterward. They even choreographed these movements into the actual fight sequences. Check out this clip of the stunt coordinators mapping out a magical action-filled scene. Jesper and his gun go hand in hand. Some fans would even say they're one and the same, which means actor Kit Young had his work cut out for him when it came to performing Jesper's classic tricks. Yup, all those impressive movements you see in the show were done by Kit himself. At first, things didn't go very well, and believe it or not, Kit couldn't even hold the gun properly. I immediately dropped one, and it smashed everywhere. But after some intense practice, including a trip to the shooting range, he eventually became a pro. You can even see his progress throughout the episodes. In the first few, his tricks were pretty minor compared to the elaborate ones we see at the end of Season 1.
Not enough.
Unfortunately, they weren't born into the Crows, which means actors Amita Suman and Freddie Carter had a lot of work to do in order to prepare for their characters Inej and Kaz, especially when it came to their props. Inej is a master with her knives, but we guess you could say she was a little off-balanced before going through training. The same went for Kaz and his cane. The two of them had to get used to the weight of the prop weapons and how to move with them so that they'd be able to execute some pretty intense fight scenes. Check out some of their behind-the-scenes training sessions with their stunt trainers.
It's gonna be rough going through airport security.
Oh yeah.
Kaz's cane is such an important part of his character, which meant the filmmakers had to make it look perfect. In the series, the cane was purposely made to be able to break other human bones. Dark. We know. When you look at a prop without movie magic, you can tell that it wasn't constructed using some heavy-duty material, which is why they used visual effects on the cane to make it extra extravagant on screen. It's not a huge difference, but it definitely adds to the realism of the Grishaverse.
This is something else.
Did anyone else cringe when the Darkling embedded the stag antlers underneath Alina's skin? While an antler necklace might have been the more eye-pleasing way to go, it went against the set safety protocols. So instead, they created a prosthetic made out of a soft material. It might have been more cautionary, but it was anything but comfortable for actress Jessie Mei Li. She complained, "It was so itchy, I was always accidentally picking it. I can't be trusted with a prosthetic." She wasn't even given a pass when she wore clothes that covered her collarbones. They had a second type of prosthetic specifically for that. Poor Jessie.
Instead, you made me this.
A trip through the fold is no walk in the park. But the boat they rode on through the fold is pretty cool, and that's because during filming they used an actual boat. You can see in these behind-the-scenes videos and photos how detailed the show's crew were able to make this huge prop. However, that was the only real thing about these scenes. The fold itself was added in later using visual effects, and the same goes for the attacking Volcra. Mal and Alina being picked up by the Volcra were actually just them wearing harnesses while being attached to a wire.
Zoya Najalensky. I've been training her since she was 10.
The cast got down and dirty when it came to fighting in a more traditional style. For the most part, all of the cast did their own stunts, which meant that they all had to hit the gym during their time in Budapest. They would also have training sessions with the stunt coordinators to make sure they all got the choreography down. Luckily, the cast was more than happy to comply. Mal's journey to find the stag led him to a dangerous winter wonderland. We'd guess it was filmed on location, but it was actually in the studio. They had fake snow on the ground and were surrounded by a huge green screen. Wondering how they got all them covered in snow? With a snowblower, of course. And by the looks of it, they had a lot of fun in comparison to their characters.
Is that?
We interrupt your regular broadcast to introduce you to the Shadow and Bone cast dance breaks. Amongst all the seriousness and hard work they put in, there was always time for fun with this cast. It's not surprising seeing this behind-the-scenes footage. From the most adorable selfies on Instagram to the cast pizza parties, we'd expect nothing less. It could be hard to catch all the details added in by the set designers and showrunners, but we can assure you that they put their all into this show. You've probably already noticed that new languages were created for the series. Well, these different languages were printed on labels, signs, and anything else that was on set of Shadow and Bone. There are also signs and symbols that pay homage to the characters. Did you catch the bird that is identical to the tattoo Inej has?
Doesn't exist yet.
Do you remember when Inej pulled out her impressive tricks in this scene? We're still not over it. Well, it was all Amita. Even she was shocked that they kept her version of the scene over the one her stunt double did. Although she didn't walk away unscathed. Amita came out of it with a battle scar that she still wears proudly today.
What are your talents?
What would set life be without some pranks and joking around? Especially with such a lively cast. From scare fails to trailer catwalks, we're kind of jealous we weren't on set having fun with this cast. It's no surprise Amita says she grew so close and formed such a strong connection with everyone.
As a friend once said, if I can't crack this, none of us are going anywhere.
If you were paying close attention during this scene, you book lovers might have noticed a cameo. The author of the Shadow and Bone book series, Leigh Bardugo, became part of the Second Order for an episode. It's safe to say from her Instagram posts, she was very excited about it. However, maybe not too excited, considering she's been asking to reprise the role in a potential season 2, but only so that she can meet her demise. Yeah, we're a little confused here, Leigh.
She is Alina Starkov.
Overall, the inspiration for the series and the imagery it created was actually Gladiator. The showrunners and creative team just wanted to bring something that was natural, clean, and tangible to life. We're going to say they achieved their goals.
You were perfect.
Is Shadow and Bone still as magical to you after seeing how it was really made? We say yes. The talent of this editing team is nothing short of magical, and the bond between the cast makes it even more impressive. What scene were you most shocked to see being filmed without its CGI?